Alright, thought I'd do a little bit of an update on my Leachianus geckos. Breeding season is in full swing here. And did some new things. At the end of the year, my geckos kind of got a little bit aggressive towards one another. They're actually both hiding there in the back. They've knocked the background loose. And so I had them separated pretty much all the winter season and had them going through a slight cooling period. And for cooling, really all I do is, I live in Tennessee and it gets cool in my house in the wintertime, so I don't do anything special. It's just kind of a natural drop in temperature. And then you just want to kind of let the cage get a good bit drier than normal because they need to experience, well, I won't necessarily they need to. Some people probably don't do this, but if you want to replicate natural conditions, it's preferable to have them go through a drop in humidity as well as a drop in temperature. But when I put them back together, due to the aggression, I put some more hides in there. So I put an extra cork round and then put a half round of bark and a few more plants and things just to kind of break up the lines of sight. But anyways, I'm about to pull out my first clutch of the season, and you can see down there in the bottom there's 2 eggs that have been laid, and I just have mine lay in the substrate. I've done it before where I keep a paper substrate or a dry substrate and then I have a lay box. I've never done that with leachies, but I've done it with cresteds and gargoyles and I think it works well. But since this is kind of a display setup, it wouldn't look good with a dry substrate or with a paper substrate. So I just let them rub in the substrate. And really the best way to know when the female has laid her eggs is really just record keeping. I have a notebook here where I just keep records, and I keep a record of when I first see breeding behavior. So you can see back on the 4-13-13 is when I first put them together, no signs of aggression. So you can kind of assume that this is when mating occurred, and you can kind of count forward about how long it'll take before you'll start to get eggs. And then also you can just pay attention to the behavior of the females. They'll start to dig around, and you'll start to see holes and things in the substrate where they've been kind of rooting around and looking for good places to lay. So, I guess that's about it. Now, one thing you really want to make sure with the leachies is they're getting plenty of calcium during the breeding season, especially the females. If you've got leachies that'll take pinkies, this is a great time to give them a couple of pinkies a month or whatever, just to keep their fat storage up and the calcium levels. But anyways, I think I'll probably make another video where I'll talk about actually excavating the eggs and how I incubate them and those types of things.